If you're a videographer and you're asking yourself a question, is the Nikon ZR good enough to be able to use on professional shoots? This is the video for you. Let's get into it. I'm Jose Hernandez, part-time videographer, full-time business owner, and I've been trying to get my video and photo business off the ground for the last couple of years. And this channel is dedicated to the journey that is that, exactly. And today we're going to talk about a very special camera. I've talked about it before, but the Nikon ZR. But this time what I did was actually put it through its paces of 4 different shoots over the last month. And 2 this past weekend where I actually used it as either my A or my B camera. And I was actually pretty impressed and I wanted to talk about it. Obviously the Nikon ZR is a camera that's talked about a lot lately just because of the R3D, you know, the red Nikon merger, and that's the reason most people talk about it. So there's going to be some things here that I don't even need to mention. Red R3D, it's great. Yada yada yada. That's what everybody says on YouTube, but I come at it from a different perspective. I come at it from a videographer standpoint, somebody who's trying to get a videography business off the ground. First time I took it out for a paid gig was actually my C camera, let's call it, just for some like very little B-roll that I actually used it for. I was over a 3-day conference, and it wasn't like my main thing. I wasn't even focused on actually using it. I just brought it along just in case. I had 2 R5Cs for that, and I thought that the R5Cs were more than plenty for the job. But sometimes you want to bring a bunch of gear just to make yourself make sure that you're not missing anything. Advice: if you feel like you need it, you should bring it. So anyway, I didn't feel like I felt like I needed it. Never go wrong with that situation. But things are a little bit different today. I'm not in my studio. It's outdoors. So you might hear some weird noises like planes flying by, neighbors coughing, dogs walking by. But I felt like this is a good opportunity to actually talk about the camera. I was just editing one of the videos, and I thought that the image quality was amazing. But we all know that about this camera at this point. The image quality is great, and a lot of people talk about it, and I think it's absolutely awesome. Now, what I will say is this, that don't get caught up in the whole like, oh, the H.265 is horrible, blah, 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 blah. I used it. It was plenty for the client. The client was actually a bank that hired us to film a student that was actually graduating from a college, and she had gotten like a free ride scholarship that the bank paid for. I don't know her true, I really don't know the whole story, only because they're from Georgia, the country Georgia, and I don't know much. They were speaking a whole different language that I just could not understand. So there you go. That's really the issue. But whatever. I was there and I helped, and I basically was the cinematographer for the thing, and after everything went really well, and the client was happy in the end of the day, which is the most important. And honestly, after I showed him some of the footage and some clips, I didn't hear him say anything bad. He was just like, yeah, looks great, thanks, you know. So that tells you that image quality and all that hoopla that you hear about these cameras, it's in our own heads, you know. Like, yeah, like, you know, a professional might see it and say, hey, like, this doesn't look good, but this guy was a professional, and he said, yeah, I think it looks great. Yeah, let's go with it. You know, I gave him a couple sample clips, and he was totally okay with using the camera. So we did, and it worked out. So A+ for that right there, I will give to the camera. So there you go. Obviously there was some shooting and some lighting and stuff, so it makes it look better, but there you go. But still, you know, now there are many reasons why I would pick my R5C over this camera. But for the most part, this camera gets me about 90% of the way there. Okay, so if I were doing, the Saturday shoot for this student that I'm talking about was both photo and video. So I definitely need the R5C, because the R5C is just a really good photo camera on top of it being a video camera. And I'm not too confident with the Nikon ZR photos. I need more practice with them. I don't know, like, I think it comes down to the settings. I think just I'm more used to the Canon menus, so I'm not really great at manipulating this Nikon's menus to do exactly what I needed to do. You know, like if I put it in aperture priority and I need to fix the exposure compensation, it wasn't really intuitive for me to do it with this camera. So I felt like the R5C was really the right tool for the job. But that being said, the R5C is like one of those tools where once I whip it out, I'm in work mode. You know, with this camera, I always feel like I'm on vacation. I know it sounds wild, but I feel like I'm on a travel vlog. I feel like I'm just I'm actually just more inspired to use this camera than I am my R5C, and I'm being 100% honest when I say that. I think it's because of the size. I think it's because I know I'm getting a good image out of it. I think that's really the most of it, you know. But there are two main reasons why I bought this camera. Number one, the size of it. Number two, I knew that I needed something for my gimbal. So again, back to the size of it. You know, I knew that for the price and quality image and size, this was a really good camera. I cannot get my R5C on this gimbal that I'm using right now. I'm actually using it as a tripod. It's too heavy. This is a Weebill 3E. And at some point, I should probably invest in a better gimbal, like an R5, what is it, an RS5 DJI or something, but it's an expensive gimbal, and I do most of my shooting handheld and on sticks. So that tells you how much gimbal work I actually use. I should actually try to use it more. I think that there is a place for it, and specifically like this weekend, there was a place for it where I actually needed it. But yeah, so like those are the two main reasons, but there's this like unspoken reason, which is like that, you know, that motivation and inspiration the camera actually gives you to shoot it. Like for example, I was upstairs, I was editing some of these videos, and I was just like, you know what, I want to talk about this. Let me just set up the camera downstairs real quickly and try to explain to people as to why this is a good camera. But that being said, we're back to being a videographer here. So videography, it breaks down really easy. So what I would do with this camera, I have it paired right now with a Tamron 20 to 40 2.8 f2.8, which is great lens for a gimbal, by the way. And the other thing is, it's pretty inexpensive. For about 3,500 bucks, you could probably get the gimbal, the lens, the camera, some memory, and a mic, and possibly even a tripod. That's not bad to start off as a videographer. That's a really good deal. If you ask me, that's a small investment in becoming your own business, you know, which is what this is all about, like having your own like videography business, right? Now, I would love to have a videography business where I'm shooting movies, but I don't do that. I unfortunately, maybe I'm 44, maybe I'm past that in my life. Like, it's more than likely that I'll never have that experience, and I'm okay with it. So I have to make up with it with other things, like, you know, shooting interviews, you know, possibly doing a documentary, which would be amazing for me. So I got to keep the dream alive. So I keep doing this. But anyway, as far as getting the bag, like, and making some money with this, I think it's absolutely doable. I would probably have a small little rig set up with realistically, you don't even need battery power. Like, the battery in this camera is amazing. So it's like, it's so good. Like, I ran with 3 batteries. I had 3 batteries. I only used one for all of Saturday. It was a B camera. So let me just at least say that. But in comparison to my Canon, like, I literally get 20 minutes out of maybe 30 out of MPF EP battery, like the good batteries, the ones for the R5 II. And so really when you rig it up, you just need to make sure that you have like your screen and you have a little rig just for balance and stuff like that. I think it'd be perfect. And I have a rig like that for this camera specifically, because I do find it very useful. And then that's about it. Like, don't pay attention to the codec bullshit. I think that's absolutely, they're out of their freaking minds. Oh, who coming out here? Let's see. Oh, it's just a dog. 2 dogs. There goes 1 dog. Well, anyway, back to this. Oh, wife is talking to me now. To myself. It's beautiful. Yeah. Well, then you come out in a few minutes. Yeah. The wife. She's amazing. I love her so much. So anyway, like I was saying, this channel is really dedicated towards that journey of becoming a full-time videographer. I'm a full-time business owner, and transferring that over at some point and making this my primary business is a goal to me. And having the right tools is important. So if you're getting started out, I would absolutely get a Nikon ZR. Would I get it over the R5C? Depending on the situation and what I'm shooting. If I'm going to be on a gimbal all the time, yes. If depending on my budget and what's available, yes. What are the shortfalls? Not much. You can still get time code. You could get a Tascam XLR unit. You could rig it just like you can the R5C. So I don't see there. I mean, you know, you get Sony lenses that are great. This is the Tamron lens. You got a lot of options for lenses, which is great. You don't get anamorphic D-squeeze, but I don't feel like you need it. Like if you want to shoot anamorphic with a camera like this, just put an external monitor on it and call it a day. And by the way, the app, the ZT, I forget the name of the app. It's freaking amazing. It's a phone app. It hooks up to your cell phone. I actually hook it up through USB. That's what I was using as a screen, and it works flawlessly. And that has anamorphic D-squeeze. So, you know, that's actually a great option for that too. So yeah, like and subscribe if you stuck around this long. You know, thank you. I appreciate it. And yeah, I'm out. Peace.